This is the Beat of Sports with Mark Daniels.
Happy Monday, boys and girls, and welcome to the Beat of Sports. I'm Mark Daniels. Chris Vasquez is in his normal seat in the studio. I am not. I'm back out of UTF, about to head to Kansas City for the Big 12 basketball tournament, but I learned from Chris. Bit warm in the building today, Chris?
Oh, my God. It is like no AC. Like XL, their AC's out in here in the top.
The whole building or just the floor?
I don't know about the whole building, but I know for sure where we're at, no AC. So it is warm and muggy in the studio today.
Crack the door open or what?
Right now it is closed. Right now it is closed, but there will be some cracking of the door here probably starting next break.
You'll be sweating.
I'm already sweating.
Like a sweat box in there. Wow. Well, I'm actually a little bit cool in the sound booth here at the arena. So.
Excuse us.
What can I say? A little bit cool out here. So. A busy morning football-wise. We're going to get to the NFL just quickly for the Dolphins. They did make it official. They're going to release Tua when the new calendar year begins, which is on March the 11th, which is 2 days from now at 4 o'clock. And they've traded Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Jets. The Dolphins, once those happen, become a team under the salary cap. Briefly, we'll get to the cap hit stuff on what it means for Tua and all that stuff. Chris is excited because the Cowboys have traded for big fat lineman. So they get what?
Don't be hating on Rashawn Gary.
So Chris goes making moves.
Making moves, baby. That's how we do it.
There's nothing like, and we're going to do the NFL a little bit, but there's nothing like the football fan base that gets excited about deals that you're like, anybody's not a fan's like, yeah, okay, like, no way. Do you understand? Like, we just got this guy. And there's a reason why you got that guy. By the way, there is a quarterback that is being linked to Miami that we're going to get to as well. That is going to be really interesting. So we'll do the NFL just a little bit coming up. Otherwise, how was your weekend, Chris? Have a good weekend?
It was good. Hoping for a better result with UCF Friday night, but it is what it is. We live with it. And then bartending Saturday and Sunday. So always working, spending time with the daughter. You know how it is.
Do you go by like a different bartender name? Slick? You know, hey.
I honestly,
hey, bud.
I should do it, but I don't really give out my name when I bartend.
You seem like a Maxwell.
Wait. Stop it.
Yeah. All right. That's good. Did you hear what happened to me at Walmart yesterday?
No, I missed it.
You know the little laser gun to ring up an item?
Yeah.
So I take all my items through the regular scan and bag, right?
Okay.
The last item is a 35-pack of water. Okay? And I take the gun to scan it, right? And as I press it, it now just beeps nonstop. Just a beep, 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 right? And there's a person that always monitors the self-checkout area, okay?
Right?
And comes over, and the first thing he says, "What did you do?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What did I do?" He's like, ah. And then he leans over to that like walkie-talkie, and he's like, I need help. And the guy comes down. He's not running, but he's at a pretty good pace. And he goes, same thing. He goes, "What did you do?" Like, what is with you guys? What do you mean? What did I do? What else could you possibly do with this?
So what did you do?
Nothing. I just pressed it, and I don't know if the battery was dead or something. And then I went to put it back, and then that's when the guy came over. So the manager, he's got like one of those special key devices that quickly turns it off. And they're both like, thank God. Like, I was about to shut down the whole system of Walmart worldwide here. It was just, I was like, what?
So now we know Mark Daniels should not be trusted at the self-checkout line.
I love the self-checkout. It just goes quick and smooth. I bag the way I want to bag. I put everything in the
quick
bag
and smooth, all right. Clearly.
It was just, what did you do? What do you think I did?
By the way, you look perplexed on the stream. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. So I haven't seen the stream. I have to look at it. You could go to 96.9 the game Orlando on the YouTube page, click on the 96.9 The Game icon, and then the live button, and you can catch the stream, which does not have me in studio. But as I'm clicking on to see, oh, really?
I don't know why you're so perplexed.
Huh.
Are you baffled by the Dolphins trading within the division? That's kind of perplexing.
Yeah, interesting what you did right there. Okay.
By the way,
So check that out.
Nothing
Yeah,
on my attire. I feel like I'm looking pretty
Hold on.
dapper.
I can't really see. What are you wearing? It's a white shirt with what on it? I
Flamingos.
can't tell. Oh. Okay.
Very Florida today.
Okay. So you can watch the stream to see the picture Chris has put up that's supposed to represent me. And you can also access via the Twitter page of 96.9 Game On. Wow. All right, we got a lot of football stuff to get to because it's been an interesting morning. The Dolphins have made a decision about Tua. I was right. Chris was wrong, which actually Chris has been far more right than I have on NFL predictions this year. But we're going to get to that in a bit. Tough night again for those critics of the Magic and Palo. They blow out the Bucks last night. We'll get to that coming up. Bay Hill was a phenomenal finish yesterday and a great story. Akshay Bhatia beats Daniel Berger. First playoff since 1999. It's the longest drought of a PGA Tour stop without a playoff. 27 years. And they got one yesterday, and Bhatia wins at just 24 years old. One of the best young players in the game. And he explained dedicating it to his niece that passed away the day of his wedding, which was a pretty emotional story to hear that. And he wins and capped off a great week out at Bay Hill, which saw great crowds and a tremendous finish as he wins by a stroke. We'll do some basketball when we come back. We'll get to the NFL. Got a whole bunch of other stuff to get to, but first, everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? One Forrest one.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Oh, that's so great. How fitting is it today, Mark, that my joke just happens to be a golf joke? I think that's pretty fitting.
That's very fitting, Chris.
It's almost like I meant to do it. What do you call a wizard who loves to play golf?
I don't know, Chris. What do you call a wizard who loves to play golf?
Mark, of course, that's Harry Potter. Harry Potter, not Harry Potter.
I think the heat's getting to you, man. Wow.
Hey, what's up? This is Pat Lynch.
And I'm talking about you're not rocking out with WJRR.
Lock it in here with Mark Daniels and the beat of sports.
Big NFL news, and we're going to do the NFL next segment. The Dolphins parting ways with Tua. They've also traded Minka Fitzpatrick to the Jets. And there's a quarterback that is beginning to get linked more to Miami. We're going to get to that coming up in just a little bit. But last night, Magic take on the Milwaukee Bucks. No Giannis, and the Magic blew out Milwaukee 130-91. 15-point first quarter for Milwaukee, 40-point second quarter. Magic give up 15 in the third, and they win by 39. Paolo at 33 had, 26 the first half. Jalen Suggs went for 20. The Magic had 42% of their threes and shot 56% from the floor in the game. So the Magic go on the road, and they win both those games on the road for that mini trip. And now the team sits at 35-28, 7 games above 500. The standings today in the East, the Magic find themselves in the 6th spot, percentage points ahead of Miami. The Heat have played 65 games. The Magic have played 63. The Magic are 35-20. The Heat are 36-29. If you're a glass half full person, the Magic are a game behind the Raptors for the 5th spot, and they're 3.5 games behind Cleveland for the 4th spot, which gets you home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. They're 5 behind the Knicks, 4 in the loss column behind the Knicks. So believe what you want about what's attainable from a seeding standpoint. Now, they're also 1 game up on the Sixers, who sit 8th, and they're also 2.5 games up on the Hawks that sit 9th. But all of a sudden, the team has won 10 of 14 basketball games, and this brief little road trip for Orlando, they go up, they blow out Minnesota, and blow out Milwaukee, and now go home to take on the Cavaliers on Wednesday. And now it's a little bit tougher if you're one of the harshest critics, because the team's defense the last 2 games has been really good, and for the anti-Paolo crowd, it's been a tough one too. By the way, Chris, there was this little clip that the anti-Mosley group all went giddy over when Jamal Mosley puts his hand out like out of a huddle, like break, and like no one touches his hand.
I saw that.
Oh, did you see what they did? They left him hanging.
They're sending a statement, sending a message.
First off, I'm old. I know that. Chris, have you ever taken a clip of a game and posted it and go, see, look at this? Have you ever done that?
No, I'm not a child.
Who does that?
I'm not a child.
Like what point of your life is such that, you're going to find these these little clips and going, here, look at this, look what it means, and everything. Like Kristen, what are you, 9? What are you, 9 years old? And because you saw it, I saw it, was like, oh wow. I'm like, no, because you know what you can find? Oh, that's right. When Paolo checks out, he daps Mosley, so now everything's good. And if you go hunting for anything to back up your narrative, you can find it. Okay, for crying out loud, what do you think we do in politics every single day in this country? Okay, you want to go find the poison pill that backs up you, then you go find it, because there's always someone that'll agree with you. Winning fixes a lot. It doesn't solve all. Winning fixes a lot. And 10 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando Sports Leader, Mark Daniels, Sabita Sports. You could hunt for anything. And like the anti-Paolo crowd, now you're having a hard time, because the last couple of weeks he's been really good. You could go fishing for numbers, and I purposely picked these numbers because it backs the narrative. He's played 5 games in the month of March. Okay, 5 games in the month of March. He's averaging 27 points a game. His field goal percentage is 60%. 60%. His 3-point still 30%. I'm not telling you that's good. His free throw percentage, 79%. His true shooting percentage is 68%, the best of any month. His usage is up. His offensive rating is the best. I mean, you could play this game all you want. If you want to go back and look at his career numbers, okay? I mean, you want to go back and do that for everyone that's like, oh, he's just been terrible. In his career, and this is year number 4, okay? Field goal percentage, 47%. It's the best in his career. 3-point percentage, it's what it is. It's 32%. He shot 32% last year. He shot 34% the year before. He shot 30% his rookie year, okay? His effective field goal percentage, it's 50%, the best of his career. His free throw percentage, it's 77%, the best of his career. His rebounds, 8.6, the best in his career. His assists at 5, he did 5.4 2 years ago. His turnovers, actually, it's slightly down, but he's had a little bit of a turnover problem the last month. I'll give you that. But the numbers are the numbers. It's why you measure somebody and a team in the course of an 82-game season. Oh, but I'll go pull out what it's like when he's on the floor with these guys that are hunt, man. Go do it. Just go hunt and do it and have fun with it. Because I'll bring it back to what I just said about the record of the basketball team. Franz Wagner still not playing. Maybe they're going to update hopefully this week on Franz. The team is 35-28. If you want to play the game of if they were healthier, because you can't say healthy all year, if they were healthier, how many more wins do they have if Wagner's healthier? 2, 3? I'll meet you. I'll go with 2. You know what 37 and 26 would be right now? It's on the heels of the Cavaliers for the 4th spot. It's within range of the Knicks at number 3. It's why I've always said and used the analogy of you can't compare seasons that play 162-82 to 17 in the NFL or 12 in college football because they're going to be ups and downs. The Pistons have lost 4 straight. And all of a sudden, the Celtics now with Tatum back, they're 2.5 games back. Everything's going great for Detroit. Now, hey, they've lost 4 straight. The Heat, average. They won 5 straight. They're on the heels of the Magic right now. The Hawks have won 6 straight. They get rid of Trae Young, and they won 6 straight. They're 2.5 games out of the 6th spot. It's a long, long season, man. It's a long season. I'm not telling you that there haven't been issues. There have been issues, but when you play 82 games, when you have guys coming in and out of the lineup, when you're trying to find any form of and what happened again with Anthony Black? He didn't play. Every day, what's the game? Who's playing? Who's not playing? I get it. I'm not creating excuses and saying that Jamal Mosley has been perfect this year, but it's 82 games. It doesn't mean that Paolo loves everything that's going on, but you can't argue what his numbers are right now. And you look at what they did the last 2 games. They blew out Minnesota. They were supposed to blow out Milwaukee without Giannis, and they did. They did after the 3rd quarter of the game was over. On a night, by the way, last night that Desmond Bane had 9 assists. He took 3 3-pointers. I mean, here's the plus minus for the starters. Plus 27 for Paolo, plus 23 for De Silva, plus 20 for Wendell Carter Jr., plus 28 for Desmond Bane, plus 23 for Jalen Suggs. It's pretty damn efficient. Okay, you want a measuring game? Fine. Measure them. Wednesday, play the Cavaliers. Not the entire season, but go ahead and measure the game against the Cavaliers. Then they get Washington at home. One of those games you're supposed to win. Then at Miami, at Atlanta, part of the stretch of games against teams that are fighting for the best possible playoff seeding. But it's really hard if you're still at the last 2 games going, well, yeah, but, when the ball's on the left side of the court and these 4 guys are playing on the right side of the court, here's the percentage of what's the efficient possession. Have at it, man. Go live in that world. If you're posting clips of timeout, hands in the air, what are you doing? Like, just Who does that? You know? I mean, I get it, Chris. Like 80%, if not 90% of the content on Twitter is people reacting to clips like that, right? Good or bad, whatever. But who sits and is watching a game and goes, "Oh, let me go back, let me clip that, and I'm going to post it on Twitter."
We know
I mean,
we know what it is. It's people want to fit their narrative and they want others to see what they see.
I just don't know. Like, who does that? It's the same people. Well, it's far worse in politics. I mean, those people that sit there, depending on what cable crack channel you want to watch, you go, "Here, so and so said this. What do you think?" And you flip on that one. So, like, man, find something else to do. Just go find something else to do. But you can't argue the last two basketball games. They played really well, and fine. I'll pick the sample size. The last 14 games, the team's 10-4. 10-4. Go look at Paolo's numbers, for crying out loud. Go look at his numbers. By the way, I'll give you another interesting number about Paolo. The Magic played a back-to-back these 2 games, right? Here's one for you. On days off of none, meaning back-to-back, okay? Paolo shoots 52% from the floor, 38% from three. And his true shooting percentage is 59%. Heck, sometimes he's better on back-to-backs. So lots of stuff for the people to try to pick on. But then when things go well, it's kind of hard to pick on. I'm out of UCF, and as we speak, the Knights are practicing before we fly to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. UCF lost a third consecutive game on Friday to West Virginia. They put themselves in the position where they're on the bubble. And if you look at, quote, all the different projections, which is nothing more than that of a Joe Lunardi or whoever you want at CBS, or, they're a 10 seed. And they did get a bye despite losing 3 in a row. They don't play on Tuesday at the Big 12 tournament. They'll play Wednesday against the winner of Utah-Cincinnati. That's a 9-16 game. I'd be stunned if Cincinnati lost that game to Utah. And UCF and Cincinnati, it's a tough matchup. There's some things about that matchup that do not sit well for UCF. The 2 bigs that Cincinnati plays, one former UCF player, Mustafa Cham, then Baba Miller, and guard play. And UCF has struggled against other guards the last few games here, but they may have to beat a rival, because the history UCF and Cincinnati have had in similar conferences, have to beat them on Wednesday to get in. If not, it'll be a very nervous 4 days for UCF on whether they make the NCAA tournament or not. And they put themselves in this spot by not winning one of these 3 games. And even a couple of them, but here's where they are. Despite that, still going to buy and have a chance to go get a win. I think one win in Kansas City, and they'll feel pretty good about themselves. The bubble, it's a weird year for the bubble in college basketball. For example, Saturday, there are like 10 teams that all are like the classic bubble teams. Every one of them lost. If you count, it's 9, and then UCF played Friday. All of them lost their Friday or Saturday game, all of them. So it creates a crazy bubble. The Auburn stuff is hilarious to me. Stephen Pearl at 16 and 15 spent a portion of his postgame explaining why he thinks that they should be in because of who they play. They're 16 and 15, went 7 and 11. I'm in the SEC, but that's what a coach should do. So it is an interesting week ahead. I think, as I've said about Florida, I think Florida's playing as good as anybody. They went to Kentucky and win. I believe Florida has a 1 seed in play based on what happens this week, that the Gators could end up being a 1 seed and go to Tampa for the opening 2 rounds. When we come back, it's been a busy football morning. The Dolphins let Tua know he's no longer needed. They'll release him officially in a couple of days at 4 o'clock. The quarterback that now is being connected to Miami, and it wasn't the only bit of a roster moves today Miami made. We'll get to that, other NFL stuff, when the Monday show continues next. So throughout this football season that was in the NFL, and I give credit where it's due, Chris Vasquez, a producer, by the way, you can listen to this show, 96.9 FM, 740 AM. Listen to us on the iHeart app. You can also listen to this as a podcast, or you can watch the stream of the show live or when it's convenient for you. Accessible on a YouTube page at 96 The Game Orlando. Click on the station icon, the live button, and there's a picture of me. I'm not in studio, but there's a picture up of me. You can have fun with that. You can watch Chris, who's sweating. It's a sweat box. How you doing? You okay? You about to pass out or what?
I'm trying. I need to go buy some water. It's so
The air's off of the
unbelievably hot here.
I'm out at UCF broadcasting today, but Chris is in the studio. But throughout this season, Chris was right about a lot more things in the NFL than I was, predicting big games or roster moves or things like that. And then at the end of the season, Chris, you and I had, a few heated, not heated, but a few discussions about what the Dolphins may do with Tua. And your point was it makes no financial sense for Miami to just cut him, that it's too big of a cap hit. You've got to put a roster together, and you can't possibly handcuff yourself by not having dollars, and you would lose too much. And I said that I didn't think they would keep him, even though it's a massive cap hit, because it's just a negative to have him around, because he's going to be there whether he plays or not, and it's just hanging over you. And I thought that at some point the Dolphins are going to just decide we got to rip the Band-Aid off and we got to let him go. And the team did announce today, as they put up a message on social media that did say that they're parting ways with Tua Tagovailoa, and the Dolphins are moving on. And it was a, whoa, wait, what? But John Eric Sullivan, the new GM, put out a very simple statement, and it's effective on Wednesday at 4 o'clock, which is the start of the new calendar year in the National Football League. It's a $99 million dead cap hit. There's all sorts of numbers, but this is what a 67.4 hit this year, 31.8 in 2027. By the way, Chris, if they didn't give him the massive contract and worked on the fifth-year option, they would not be in this situation. But
Correct.
They are. So they part ways with Tua, and will have to deal with that cap number for a couple years, and then traded Minka Fitzpatrick to the Jets for a 7th-round pick. And Minka is going to sign a 3-year, $40 million deal with the Jets. Those moves alone will actually put Miami under the cap briefly. It gets real complicated, and I'm not going to do cap talk. And they're in the market for a quarterback. Before I tell you the name that's now being connected to Miami, let's talk first about the news today. Chris, your reaction, because I sent you a quick text saying, hey, this just happened, and you said, wow, so expand on your wow.
I don't understand. You're going to be bad. You're going to be very bad this year. We understand that. We understand that you're going to be in the quarterback business. To me, it didn't make sense. You were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Why not just keep Tua and avoid this massive dead cap hit? Instead, now, like you said, 67 this year, 30 something next year.
67.4 this year, 31.8 next year.
It didn't make sense to do it. Just you wanted to clean up the vibes? I mean, that's the only reason I can think of. And
by the way, to understand it again, it can get confusing. His cap hit until June 2nd is $56 million. What does that mean? The cap's a live number. And Chris, you know this. You don't get to just at the beginning of the year, we got to get to a certain number. The cap's a live number. So that 56 stays there till June the 2nd. Okay? Then it becomes 67.4 on June 2nd. So what Chris is alluding to is you don't have money to go get people to. It's not like you cleared them off the cap with no hit. You are limited. So go on. I'm sorry.
No, it just you weren't going to make any big moves in free agency. Bottom out, it's a rebuild. I know you love to point out Stephen Ross's age, but you're not contending anytime soon.
Right.
So it didn't make sense to swallow the $99 million dead cap hit over the next 2 years when it could have been significantly less had you just kept Tua one more year, or just not even give him that massive extension when you did. But here we are.
So let's just stay on Tua for a second. What now is the free agent quarterback market? Kyler Murray, who now seems to have more dots maybe connected to Minnesota. Now Tua. What's the market for Tua? And Chris, I say this because I do think there's a name that people have connected to Miami, which is not the name that I was teasing before. But if you were to rank, and help me if I'm leaving out names here, Kyler Murray, Malik Willis, Tua, Kirk Cousins, and who am I leaving out for free agent quarterbacks?
That would be Geno Smith,
who is the guy that is connected to Miami this morning. According to Barry Jackson, the Miami Herald, he says a couple of reports have Geno Smith connected to Miami, as the Dolphins will pursue Malik Willis, but it sounds like Miami probably is a number that they don't want to overpay, where Geno maybe comes cheaper. So before we get to that part of it, where's Tua rank in all this?
One, I'm just baffled at the horrible management in Miami, but where does Tua rank?
Current management or previous management? Or
Current.
Okay.
But anyways, where does Tua rank? Good Lord, this is a horrible free agent quarterback class. Top fourth, maybe third. I like Kyler. Kyler has shown he can ball. Yeah, there's some off-field issues with his Call of Duty addiction, but I think he's pretty solid. You like a dual threat. Geno Smith, he showed flashes in Seattle, but he's a career backup. Kirk Cousins, I mean, he'll win you some games, but probably better off as a backup. Tua had the weapons. They had an exciting offense not too long ago, and then I don't know what happened.
Okay, but let's play this game, okay? Let's go down, okay? And stop me. A team that needs a quarterback. Patriots, no. Bills, no. Jets, yes.
Yep.
They're not signing Tua.
No.
Steelers.
They do. Well, he's not going. Mike McCarthy is not going to go after Tua.
Ravens, no. Bengals, no. Browns.
That would be a Browns thing to do.
Jags, no. Texans, no. Colts.
They signed Daniel Jones to the transition tag, so
no to the Titans. No Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders. If you assume they're drafting Mendoza, then the answer is no, unless he wants to be a very low-paid backup. Eagles, no. Cowboys, no. Commanders, no. Giants, no. Bears, Packers, Vikings, yes, but I'm not quite sure he's their first choice. No to the Lions. Panthers, no. Bucks, no. Falcons, doubt it. Saints, no. Seahawks, no. Rams, no. Niners, no. Cardinals. This is not a big market.
No, it's not. Does Tua sit out a year? Maybe get his head in the right space?
No. No, you go somewhere to be a backup, even if you can't be a starter, just because you still got a chance to play. And the way quarterbacks get injured, you still want to go somewhere.
Tua hasn't earned the right to sit out any sort of time and then kind of say, I want to wait for a playoff contending team, right? He hasn't earned that right.
Who does that?
Veterans.
Who?
Older veterans.
Who?
Didn't Aaron Rodgers do that?
When? He signed with the Jets. Got hurt. And no, I'm sure people come up with a name, but give me the guy that wasn't anywhere and then got signed and became a starter.
You don't think Tua would do that?
No.
Okay.
And I wouldn't advise him to do that. You got to go somewhere and play, even if you're a backup somewhere. Here, I'll do a bounce pass back to you. of the teams that we just all went through that have a quarterback, give me somebody that is always good for 2-3 games missed because of an injury. Heck, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, really. Joe Burrow.
Yeah, if I'm Tua, I'm finding one of those places where, you got a quarterback that it historically misses 2-3 games a year and go be a backup there.
Okay.
Minka Fitzpatrick's deal, again, that's just getting cap money there.
I don't understand. Why would you trade him in division? And I feel like you could have gotten more from Minka Fitzpatrick.
Wouldn't you think more than a 7th-round pick, which is the Chargers pick, and the Jets signed him to a 3-year, $40 million deal? Yeah.
That makes no sense to me.
The quarterback thing, and again, Barry Jackson, the Miami Herald, and Barry's pretty plugged in. And Gino went to Miramar High School, which is down in South Florida. And he writes, and Tyrod Taylor's going back to Baltimore, right? Yeah. Am I right with that? No. Snoop is
Snoop Huntley.
Snoop Huntley, not Tyrod Taylor. Barry Jackson writes that Geno Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kirk Cousins, and Tyrod Taylor are also options. The Dolphins would pursue Malik Willis, but at a certain price, and Quinn Ewers be given a chance as well. So clearly Miami's told you that, well, you'd sign Malik Willis thinking he's your quarterback, right? I mean, you would sign him assuming he's going to be a multi-year starter. If you went with a Kirk Cousins or Jimmy Garoppolo or Geno Smith, that's a 1-year gap, right?
Right.
I mean, you're not signing those guys. But Willis, and put him back in the mix there as well as to where he goes.
It doesn't make sense to me. You cut to take on this massive dead cap hit. There's no quarterbacks in this year's draft. Do you really want to spend any sort of money on a guy who's never played a full season?
Again, we're trying to connect dots to the Green Bay family now in Miami and Malik Willis playing in Green Bay. You would have to say that the management and your head coach believes he is a 8-year starter that is just needing a place to be the starter with an offense built around it, and he's really special. And you may go, well, wait a minute, didn't the sample size show at 2 different places that he was nice, but he was an adequate backup? But if you think he's your guy, then that's fine. If you're like, he's good, but then I agree with you. Then what are you going to waste money on?
But again, to the point, the Dolphins are rebuilding. Why are you going to bring someone in when you're rebuilding? Have the bridge guy, have the 1 or 2 year guy.
Okay, wait. I'm in your group with that. Except the other side would argue, well, if we can get someone to start the process now and to build around, then why would we wait if we think he's special? Now, again, I'm in your group. I'm throwing it out there like, hey, fans, you understand 26 and probably 27, it's going to be a rebuild. So we're not going to overspend at a quarterback. But then the argument's going to be, well, wait a minute. We think he's the quarterback, and if we can get him, we can start building around him. But if I'm Willis, yeah, it's about the money, Chris. But if money's equal, you want to go to places you can win and have success early, correct?
Yeah, you're going to get killed in Miami. I don't even know if Jalen Waddle's going to be on the team. So who are you throwing to? The team is getting rid of their defense. So what exactly?
Hey. If you're Geno Smith, you want a job, be like, man, I just got killed in Las Vegas with that line. What am I stepping into here, man? It's one thing to go back home, but he's going to look and go, wait, again with the line? Again? Am I going to get sacked 70 times this year?
He looked so miserable last year.
Yeah.
So miserable. You really want to go through that again in Miami?
Well, again, clearly the Dolphins had this plan for a while. This wasn't let's wake up on a Monday and go do this. You go back to when they began their evaluation. It clearly looks like they made a decision early, and I get it. I do. Rip the Band-Aid off. We'll deal with the cap number. The Broncos did it with Russell Wilson. We'll figure it out. We'll piecemeal this the best we can. I don't think any Dolphin fan is shocked today. But I'm going to end with this on Tua. Sum up his 6 years at Miami. Sum up his 6 years at Miami, where he was, 44-32. 44-32. And the injuries will stand out. Over 18,000 yards, 120 touchdowns, 59 picks. How do you view the Tua era in Miami?
It's really hard to describe it because he wasn't bad. I mean, you just gave out the stats, but we can make stats say anything we want to.
Oh, yeah. You can do the old cold weather games, and you can do games not available and things like that. I
don't know how you describe it.
Empty.
That's about as good a word as any.
It's empty because you had flashes of what could have been, but it was the number one offense in the league. The injuries are a part of his narrative for the rest of his career, whether he plays 1 more year or 10 more years. The injuries, no one will be able to, when you hear, hey, what do you think of Tua, get the image lying on the field at Cincinnati out of your mind, right? You can't.
Right.
That shot is him. Fair or not. Now, doesn't mean he can't have a Baker-like second wind of his career. The question is where. And Chris, it is similar to Baker Mayfield. It really is. I mean, Baker was healthier, but looking for a place that is thinking about a gap quarterback, and then you get a chance to play, and they're like, well, wait a minute, maybe there's something here. That's what he's going to look for. The question is, what is the market for him?
I really don't know.
You want to talk about your Cowboys for a second?
Rashawn Gary, baby. Man, this defense is shaping up to be real nice. Woo! We're doing things differently in Dallas. I almost feel like you now. We're doing things differently in Dallas.
4th round pick in 27 to get Rashawn Gary.
Essentially, it could be a 1-year deal. He's got no more guaranteed money left. So if it doesn't work, cut him. Mark, I'm falling into it.
You're talking yourself into a good deal, right? Yeah.
It feels different this year. Things are happening in Dallas.
Yeah.
There's still a possibility of adding Trey Hendrickson.
And Kenny Clark, reunite again. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, man. Mark, I'm excited for this defense.
And
Dak apparently dodged a bullet. I don't know if you saw his marriage is
by
no
not getting married
happening.
over the prenup?
He might have dodged a bullet.
Over the prenup that they argued over?
Hey, protecting himself.
Wow.
Protecting himself.
Be a lot of NFL stuff. Just final thought on Max Crosby.
I think I would have loved to have
Raven.
him. Would I have loved to have him in Dallas? Absolutely, but from everything I saw, the Raiders wanted both of the Cowboys' first-round picks in this year's draft plus the player. No.
By the way, I like what the Raiders did here. You weren't winning with him, so peak value, go get as much as you can and stockpile picks. Good player. Fine, go to Baltimore. He gets a place that he's got a chance to win. If you're the Raiders, you had him on the team, and look at your record the last couple of years, so go maximize value and get what you can.
Yeah, no, good for them. We'll see what they turn those picks into, but for now, I mean, you got Fernando Mendoza. You're going to have a second first-round pick this year. Maybe add another weapon. Maybe an offensive lineman to protect Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah. When we come back, 2 things for a waste of time. I'll explain next. Back on this Monday on the Beat of Sports. Glad you're with us on the radio, listening in podcast form, or watching the stream, whether it's live or playback, which you can get that stream. Go to 96 on Game on Twitter, or go to YouTube and look up 96 on the Game, and be sure to click on the live icon. And Chris has another funky picture of me because I'm not in studio. I'm not at UCF. We're going to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. By the way, Chris, despite UCF struggles of late, having gone to this Big 12 tournament the last couple of years, it's awesome. I mean, they do. Downtown Kansas City does an amazing job with this event. And you saw the video, and they played the women's tournament this past weekend, of the glass court at the T-Mobile
That's so cool.
arena.
That's so
right?
cool.
Which that company did that court here in Orlando.
Yep.
And UCF got to work on it or to play on it before the season, not knowing the Big 12 was going to use that in the tournament. When Johnny got an invite, say you want to have the team come down and take a look at this, and they went down and practiced for like 30, 40 minutes on it, and then lo and behold, the Big 12 is using it. So we get in this afternoon, and then we're going to shoot at 6:30 on that court at the T-Mobile Arena. It's going to be kind of cool.
Nice.
So looking forward to that. Yeah, so that'll be a little bit later today. And the Big 12 tournament begins tomorrow. UCF, despite the 3 losses at the end of the season, did get a bye, finishes the 8th seed, and will play on Wednesday, 3 o'clock game, which we'll have for you against either Utah or Cincinnati. If UCF wins, they would get Arizona in the quarterfinals. And I think don't know for certain, might need to win at least one in the conference tournament. Chris, we left the show on Friday, and a few hours later, that round table of people met with the president in Washington to discuss the future of college sports. And again, I do not care about your politics. I don't have a problem if the president wants to engage in conversation from people in the know and formulate at least a plan to say, how do we get a closer look and an understanding about what's happening, the role the government can play, what's possible, what's not possible, what are the priorities, where are you at right now, where are you struggling, what can we do, the president, the government, that's realistic, and can we help? And sadly, it went exactly as I and many others thought it was going to go. I'm sure you saw some of the reporting, Chris, but of the what ended up being there 60 people that were there, not even half spoke. And it ended up being just a round table of stupidity. I mean, just stupidity. And that's not criticizing the president, who, by the way, did his part to show he has no understanding about any of these issues. Okay? And I'm giving him a pass because he's got some other stuff that he's working on right now. But he had no idea about how we pay players, no idea what the court ruling was, including a 9-0 vote by the Supreme Court that he's placed many people on, that it's a majority of opinions that would favor his side, had no concept of that, no idea what a collective was, thought that he can make an executive order to go, well, why don't we go back to how it was before? Maybe pay him like 25 or 50 or something. So that was him. Then other people, either in his cabinet or people he invited, just no clue. Just an absolute waste of time. An hour and 45 minutes, and the few people that did speak, it just went over the head of so many people in there. There wasn't one athlete, not one athlete in college sports that was there. And then some of these, again, I don't care about your politics, but even the Speaker of the House, I'm a big LSU fan, from Louisiana. And What is that going to do? Like, just mind-boggling. Greg Sankey spoke for just a little bit, and I think Sankey in the room, and I know where he sits politically, but even Sankey realized this is an absolute waste of time. But I'll say the right things, and there was enough statements put out afterwards about, productive. There was nothing productive about it. The president did the same thing of, I'll put in an executive order. To do what? Executive orders aren't law. He put an executive order out before, and it meant nothing. You can't put an executive order that throws out the House settlement, which, again, most people in that room that are not collected at college had no idea what it was, no concept, nothing. It was embarrassing, but sadly went exactly how people thought. And by the way, you know what they concluded at the end of it? Nothing. There wasn't like here's a blue ribbon panel, and these 8 people are going to represent the future of college sports committee. And their job is in the next 120 days is to bring back the 5 biggest items that we need to fix that can have government involvement, if it's antitrust or nothing. There is no next plan. It was an absolute waste of time, which was so easy to predict. And then some people said, well, wait a minute now. There was a little bit of progress made there. We had a couple of senators, Senator Cantwell and Senator Schmidt. They agreed on a bipartisan bill to let conference consolidate media rights. They did, which was reported by some people. They agreed on nothing. These are 2 senators that said, I'm going to propose a bill that lets conferences consolidate media rights. We had Patrick Kreitz on the show on Friday, the longtime sports media TV executive who's helped negotiate some of those billion-dollar deals over the years, who said there's 0 chance of this happening, and he gave us reasons why. You can go back and listen to that show in the interview. Said there's no chance of it happening. And if it did, they'd be shocked because the money that people think it's not worth it, because the market is telling you what's worth what right now. The market's telling you the Big Ten, the SEC, they're worth the most. After that, it's the ACC, Big 12. After that, I mean, no disrespect to the G6, it's filler. So pulling it will do what? And there's no bill. They haven't proposed any bill. And just because they propose a bill, it doesn't force anybody to do anything. That's why Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, they did their part. Hey, I got to show up. If I'm not there, then it's a bigger story. I'll go show up. I'll sit there. I'll praise the idea of everyone getting together, and I'll, say a couple things, and I'm out of here. I mean, just a complete waste of time and beyond embarrassing. Now, I don't fault an effort to say we want to help. That wasn't anything. It wasn't anything. And like I said, I don't care where you sit politically. The president's got other things that are going on right now, whether you agree or disagree, that should be a priority. That's sit down and then, does anybody maybe slide him a sheet of paper that says, here's some things that are going on to we're paying them? How much? Well, we could stop that. No, you can't. You don't get to do that. You don't get to just go, yeah, we'll go back, toothpaste, put it back in the tube. It just doesn't work that way. So anybody that thinks the government's going to come help and fix this, I can't give you a better example than that. I mean, it was comedy, absolute comedy. What took place, and a complete waste of time. When 70% of the people invited didn't even talk. Get on a plane, go fly, because it looks good that you were invited, and you sit there and you don't even speak. And by the way, Chris, can I add one thing about Nick Saban?
Yes.
Let me say this. I believe Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach ever. I think if you have a table of greatest coaches, and I would put Bobby Bowden up there, I'd put Steve Spurrier up there, I'd put Bear Bryant. Okay, I think in this modern era of college football, I think Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach. Hard stop. Hard stop. Okay? And I don't doubt that he knows that the quick last few years that have seen players go from supposedly making nothing, although that's a funny thing in Alabama, to where we are now has changed a lot about the players. But I got a really hard time with the guy that made $150 million coaching college football, telling people about how pay has ruined college players. I got a really hard time with that. And even though I know where he's coming from, come on, Nick. Come on. You're the greatest college football coach. It may be the reason why you chose to retire when you did, and that resume will never be tarnished. But you can't sit there and talk about the dangers of what has happened by paying players. You made $150 million in salary. Forget about everything else you made off the backs of players that either A, were getting nothing, or B, you just didn't want to know what they were getting. I mean, come on. The other piece of embarrassing sports news was Orlando City went to New York and lost 5-0. They're 0-3. And that may have been the worst performance I can recall in that team. They can't score. They can't defend. They're a mess beyond anything possible called a mess. And you want to talk about just a complete lack of effort. Fell down 2-0 quickly. And I mean, that was here's mail, here's put it in. That was awful. I don't know about Oscar and where, I mean, it's bad. I mean, they had the Miami game up, Miami scores, and you knew the avalanche was coming. Go on the road, you can lose, but to just not put up an effort and just get run off the field, holy smokes, that was bad. What an awful start for Orlando City, and it may be a long, long year for them. That just was a terrible performance. All right. Much more to get to the 11 o'clock hour. We kick it off with the news next.
Let's really do the news.
Yes.
Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
11 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR, HD2 Cocoa Beach, Orlando sports leader, Mar Daniels. Chris Vasquez producing. Chris is back in studios. I'm out at UCF doing the show today, headed out to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. We start first with the NFL news of the morning. The Dolphins made it official. Tua Tagovailoa is done. When the NFL's new calendar year begins, which is Wednesday at 4 o'clock, they will release him. The number is significant because it's never happened with this high $67.4 million cap hit this year, $31.8 million cap hit next year as the Dolphins release Tua. They also will be trading Minka Fitzpatrick to the Jets in exchange for a 7th-round draft pick as the Dolphins begin to purge that roster and begin what is apparently a massive rebuild. Not that that's breaking news to Dolphin fans, but that is apparently what is happening in Miami. More on football in just a second. Magic last night closed out a 2-game road trip with 2 blowouts. After beating Minnesota on Saturday, the Magic take care of Milwaukee 130-91. Giannis didn't play for the Bucks, not the Magic's problem. Paolo went for 33. He was huge in the first half. Jalen Suggs had 20. Magic shot 56% from the floor, now 35-28. They've won 4 straight, 10-4 the last 14 games, and sit in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. Magic come home to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday before getting the Wizards after that. College basketball tickets punch the NCAA tournament. Chris, do you know where Queen's University is?
Just a quick guess. I would guess New York.
Not bad. You think maybe Queens, but no. It's in North Carolina.
Okay.
They are merging with Elon University. Okay, the 2 schools are merging. And if approved, not yet voted on, but if approved, the 2 athletic departments will merge. Okay? Queens University yesterday won the Atlantic Sun tournament to get the automatic berth to the NCAA tournament. They beat top seed Central Arkansas in overtime. Chris Ashby had 10 threes in the game for Queens University. It's their first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament, and it may be their last. Because if it is agreed that the 2 athletic departments merge, there'll be no Queens University athletic department anymore. They just got eligible on the transition from D2 to D1 and are going to the NCAA tournament, and it may be the only time they do if the approval of merging the athletic departments happens.
That's
you
crazy.
want another weird one?
Yeah.
Long Island University, LIU, is going to the NCAA tournament, despite the fact that they've not played their conference championship game in the Northeast Conference. Why? Mercyhurst, not Mary, Mercyhurst. Mercyhurst is in year 2 of a 4-year transition to go from D2 to D1, which is an NCAA requirement. Don't ask why it's complicated, but it's year 2 of 4. They've made it to the championship game to play Long Island. And the conference determined that if a situation like this happened, then the team that was playing Mercyhurst would get the automatic berth. So the championship game is tomorrow, and Mercyhurst can win and hold up a trophy and be crowned Northeast Conference champion, but Long Island is still going to the NCAA tournament. Interesting.
Wow.
High Point won the Big South. Missouri Valley goes to Northern Iowa. And the Ohio Valley Conference, Tennessee State, North Dakota State wins the Summit. More tournament action continues today and throughout the week. And the SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12 will begin tomorrow. I'll be in Kansas City where UCF will play on Wednesday. By the way, back to the NFL. Chris and I talked about it briefly. Max Crosby to the Ravens for 2 first-rounders, which I think is a good deal for the Raiders. They weren't winning with him, so why not get some draft capital? Chris, thoughts on that Trent McDuffie deal with Kansas City and the Rams, and they give him 4 years, $124 million. Life is good as a cornerback now in the NFL.
And not only that, $100 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, life's really right now if you're Trent McDuffie.
Jordan Davis is the highest paid nose tackle in NFL history, 3 years, $78 million. And Khalil Mack is going back to play. The 9-time Pro Bowler signs for the Chargers again at 1 year, $18 million. Huh. Akshay Bhatia won the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Rallied and beat Daniel Berger on the first playoff hole. It's the first playoff at Bay Hill since 1999. It's the longest route of a PGA Tour stop to not have a playoff. And Bhatia wins. I did mention this early on the bridge with Kelly, Chris. I know you're not a golfer, but he's 24 years old. His parents came from India. He was born in California. He's a popular guy, very thin. It's his third PGA win. He's a little bit controversial, not in a personality, but he has the long putter. And some believe that he has that putter wedged into his chest. That's illegal. He says he's grabbing his shirt for balance and doesn't put the putter on the body. If it touches the body, it would be illegal. I'm not trying to take anything away. It's a great story. He also talked about dedicating it to his niece that passed away on the day of his wedding, and emotional about that. Let's see what else we have here for you. World Baseball Classic continues. The U.S. has won their first 2 games. Pretty lopsided with some games, but the WBC continues. Next couple of days with pool play, the U.S. has beaten Brazil and Great Britain 24-6, the 2 games combined. And the heavy favorites have done their part to win thus far. By the way, back to basketball. It's 2 games for Jason Tatum. He's averaging 17 points in the 2 games and playing about 27 minutes. And the Celtics now are the favorite in the East, despite Detroit's record. Detroit's lost 4 in a row, and odds makers think that Boston now is the favorite to win. What else do I have here for you, Chris? More World Baseball Classic stuff tonight. Denver OKC is an NBA game that highlights the schedule tonight. By the way, yesterday was a who's who, as you can imagine, Chris, in LA for the Knicks and the Lakers.
That was a bad loss for the Knicks.
Okay, 82-game season. I'm not saying it was okay. They shot lights out, putting 140 plus on Denver the night before. Go to LA for a 12:30 start. I don't wager, but if you would have told me the Knicks are going to be in a tough spot, I would have said, yep. Night game in Denver, early afternoon start in LA, and they did get blown out. So Dwight Howard's put on the big Jumbotron, and he had his championship ring, and he gets up and he's waving to the crowd. Part of the weekend that I guess one of his, as they say, baby mamas was accusing Dwight of some things on social media.
Saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. Life ain't easy, man. Life ain't easy sometimes. All right. That's an update on what's happening in the world of sports. When we come back, Chris, patriotism in the heart, could it be? We'll explain next.
Hey, it's Johnny Magic from Johnny's house.
Look, we've got you covered with the hits and what's going on in the city beautiful.
And Mark, he's got everything you need to know in the sports world, with maybe a touch of sarcasm.
This is the Beat of Sports with Mark Daniels.
So on this Monday, I'm out at UCF Broadcasting in the sound room of the arena because we're off to Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. Chris is back in the studios. And the way the show is set up, I can hear Chris in the studio. Now, I know the AC was off, but you tell me the AC is back on in the building?
AC is back on. Thank you, Frank Glover.
Yeah, our engineer. Now, Chris, are you battling allergies or what?
I don't know if I'm battling allergies, if I'm getting sick or what, but it is hard for me to breathe.
Yeah, it sounds like I've got an 82-year-old man with a wheezing cough. Like during the breaks here.
I'm struggling.
You need the good stuff from Daniels, man.
And you're not here.
You need the good stuff. I had to take some of the good stuff because, man, Saturday I was hurting. Yesterday I was hurting bad. It's just a leaf shower. Of course, it doesn't help. I'm allergic to oak.
Uh-huh.
And around my house are 4 massive oak trees that are like over 100 years old, and not the smartest place to live. But yeah, so that doesn't really help.
Yeah, this time of year is always rough for me.
6 years ago today, you know what happened?
That would be Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gay.
Sorry, Rudy Gay. Oh.
No,
Rudy Gobert.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't do that to me.
Rudy Gobert touched the microphones.
I remember.
As COVID began to start.
I remember.
Yeah. Rudy Gay thought, hey, this is kind of fun.
Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. Maybe Rudy Gay touched the microphone too that day. I don't know. Rudy Gobert touched the microphone. Yep. I was in Fort Worth for the American basketball tournament. UCF was going to play South Florida, and a half hour before tip is when they shut everything down. Yeah, I do remember that. Chris, patriotism is contagious.
Yeah, it is.
Patriotism is contagious. And I said, I wonder what he's going to feel like when the American hockey team won the gold in dramatic fashion, and the passion of all of that and the celebration and the way it happened and who they beat and the Americans coming home, nothing more American than partying in a nightclub at South Beach to the wee hours of the morning. Jack Hughes, players celebrated and everything. What it would do to some individuals. And as the World Baseball Classic was about to get underway, Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball, he was telling people, listen, I'm going to get one start in because it's the right thing to do. And I'd love to come back and hang with the guys, and hopefully we can win this thing. And, I want to be there with them on the bench. And Chris, I said, come on, man, you can't do that. The drama, don't you want to be a part of the, don't you want to feel this? Don't you want to have that patriotism and that pride? And he was like, hey, gotta look at the bigger picture, trying to get a big long-term deal, got that big arbitration number. But, gotta look at the big picture. So the Americans go out and play game 1. They beat Brazil. Okay. And Scubal's going to get the ball to start game 2. And he goes out there, Chris, in front of a packed stadium, gives up a home run to Nate Eaton of the Red Sox. But he goes 3 innings, gives up 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 5. And the Americans win. And guess who's thinking about changing his mind, Chris? Guess who's thinking about changing his mind? After the game, Skubal said, I did not expect these emotions to run through my brain or my thoughts to differ. I was pretty committed to making a start and getting back to camp. Things have changed, obviously. That's why I'm going to have some conversations, try to figure out a plan for me. But yeah, I don't know either way. AJ Hinch's manager said nothing's been determined. I think he's incredibly emotional about the experience. A difficult time weighs heavily on players because they want to do it all. School thanked Team USA for being understanding of what his situation is and allowing him to decide what he wants to do. So, Chris, I'm glad that he's got a little bit of patriotism in the heart right there. And I hope he changes his mind. And I hope he says, I want to be a part of this. And I hope he wants to pitch again. And even though, look, Olympic hockey, to me, it that's probably more valuable Olympic gold. The fact that we're not bringing major league players to the Olympics in 28, and I know the logistics of it during the summer and everything, but I mean, as big as the World Baseball Classic is getting, and it's getting bigger every time we do this, the Olympics in 28 would just be insane. But it's still pretty big, and I'm glad he's got this emotion tugging at him. Good. Hope he stays. Hope he pitches.
Time will tell. But yeah, you always want to go out. You want to represent your country. Yes, it's not quite the World Series, but this is a pretty damn big stage. Represent your country, packed stadium, all the best Americans on the same team. You just saw the men and women hockey team take home some gold. And now you want to represent your country.
And by the way, I'm fine that he said what he said before and then went through it and experienced it. And he threw 3 innings against Great Britain. He wasn't pitching against Japan, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. He wasn't pitching against the elite teams in this event. He pitched against Great Britain. And he was like, wow. And that's great. That's great. Look, this event, there's been a World Baseball Classic that we didn't qualify when we weren't sending the best to play. But this event's growing, and I think it's only going to grow. And it only grows because now the best players want to play. They want to play. If you go back and take a look at the rosters, the last 3-4 World Baseball Classics of what should be the elite teams, the Americans were lagging in getting the best to play. Not the Puerto Rican team, not the Dominican team, not Japan's team. It was the Americans that were lacking the ultimate stars. And it helped when Bryce Harper and Aaron Judge and of late the young generation of a Skubal and a Skeens say we want to play. That helped. Now it's like hard to say no. And I'm glad that he has that emotion. And I hope he stays. And I hope he pitches.
Well, and you got to feel some kind of way when guys like Mike Trout, who's been pretty oft injured the second half of his career, he's trying to be out there. You just can't find someone to insure him.
Yeah, I want to be out there. How about CB Insurance? How much is that contract? $37 million. Yeah, we'll get back to you. Leave a message at the beep. Okay? We'll call you back. You know, he's online like Ed's Insurance. You know, don't worry about us. We'll approve you. And they're like, even they're turning him down. You know. So yeah, I hope so, man. It's great. I hope so. And by the way, if he pitches again and he gets shelled, I'll still praise him. I hope the Americans win, but I'm glad he's having a little bit of mixed emotion that, wants to come back. That's good. That's what it's supposed to be about, man.
Represent the red, white, and blue, baby.
That's it, man. I hope that's the case. By the way, you heard the clip. And Kelly played a drop of you, the LA Marathon, which, by the way, had an insane finish. You don't get sprints to the finish in a marathon. We don't typically talk marathons here. But Nathan Martin won the LA Marathon by 0.01 seconds in a sprint, okay, to the finish. And, Chris, this year at the LA Marathon, if you wanted to stop after 18 miles, they gave you the medal that those that finished the marathon got. And I am angry. You can't do that. You can't. Well, if you're tired and you can't finish a marathon and your body can go no further, there's no shame in saying this is as far as I can go. It's physically not safe for me to go further, and tell people I didn't finish. Who would criticize you? But someone who goes 18 goes, I'm done. I'll take the medal. No way.
So not to spoil the bubble, that wasn't a drop. I was in studio at that time. So
That
was
actually
me.
was you screaming?
Yes.
Yeah, I
So,
love that one.
To do
Chris
it
says,
again. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's bad enough that we're giving
New segment, by the way. Yeah.
It's bad enough we're giving kids participation trophies just for playing because we don't want to hurt their feelings. Now we're doing it to adults too.
I don't know. Listen, I run every day. I do not run marathons. I run what I think is good for me. People say, have you ever wanted to run a marathon? No, I can't. I mean, I guess if I trained and everything by running 7 miles a day, people go, it'd be easy. No, it's not. I recognize it's not. And people that run marathons, you're awesome. And I just can't imagine a person that would say after 18, yeah, I'm good. I'll take the medal and proudly take it. How could you do that? Why does anybody think that's a good idea?
Like, you display that at your house? People come over. Oh wow, it's a great medal. You ran a marathon? Yeah, I ran.
Yeah, people probably lie and just say, yeah, I did. I don't think people go, yeah, I did the 18-mile one and then I tapped out. You did the what? Yeah, I can, stop at 18 if you're tired and just get the medal. Who would respect that? Like, it's like I said to Kelly, even a 94-year-old man that's been running his life and has done dozens of marathons, it would be insulting for that person to go, I'll take the medal after 18. Oh.
Anyone tries to give me a medal, I'm telling them to shove it.
Like my good friend Mike Bianchi would say about about Dan Fogelberg music, the wussification. Oh my God! Here's a medal. Get out of here, man.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. I'll come back. More of the Beat of Sports after this. Beat the Sports Smart Daniels on a Monday. Magic win last night, 4 straight, 10-4 the last 14 games. Back home and take on the Cavaliers coming up on Wednesday. And now 6th place in the East. And like I said, tough for the Palo critics the last couple of weeks to jump on Palo. Our next guest has been a good friend for a number of years and is here to tell us about an upcoming event. Connected to somebody that's been special to him. It's been 21 years since Bobby Jones' Stroke of Genius, the movie that he produced, and very much involved with the Bobby Jones Foundation with an upcoming event in the Orlando area. My good friend Kim Dawson is back. When I say 21 years, wow, I cannot believe it's been that long.
I can't either. It's gone by in a flash, I must say. It's been a great run, though. I've really enjoyed being part of the Bobby Jones family and the good work that they're doing in the foundation to help find a cure for the disease that actually, took Bobby Jones' golf career away from him. After he did the Grand Slam in 1930, when he won the U.S. Amateur and U.S. Open, and the British Amateur and the British Open, he promptly retired at the age of 28. And there's some speculation that he was suffering from the disease back then. He didn't really have surgery until after the Second World War, but he was, at that point he was rendered pretty much crippled and lived in a wheelchair using walkers for the rest of his life. So,
his birthday is coming up. He would have been 124, so 124 years. But it's also St. Patrick's Day. And an event the foundation's doing coming up on the 17th of March, Kim, at Topgolf, correct?
That's correct. It's to celebrate not just his birthday, but the idea that he lived with this disease for going on 40 years, and he never uttered a single complaint. Never. He likened it to the game of golf. He said, sometimes you get good shots and you get bad results, and sometimes you hit bad shots and get good results. The key is that you have to play the ball where it lies, wherever it is, and that's how he kind of approached this disease. And we're going to celebrate that on St. Patrick's Day with a little bit of green beer out at Topgolf down on Universal Boulevard from 6 to 9. And we'd love for any of your listeners and viewers to join us. It's a $95 donation to the foundation, but there's unlimited food, and we'll provide some drink tickets and unlimited golf for those 3 hours. And it should be a lot of fun. We got about 50 or 60 people signed up so far, and it's just going to be a really fun night of camaraderie. We'll have a couple of the patients who suffer from the Chiari with us, and that'll be instructive for anybody who's attending, because most people have never heard of this disease. There are about 3 million people who suffer from it, Mark. It's a very debilitating thing, and one that there's a cure for, and this foundation is going to find it.
You can learn more by going to Bobby Jones, CSF.org. That's Bobby Jones, CSF.org, about the event that you can sign up for, and also about the foundation. You've been part of this group that continues to spread the word to help. Bobby Jones in the golfing community today still resonates quite powerful and well. So when you tell the golf people or ask golf people Bobby Jones, their reaction typically is what?
Well, I had no idea that he ever suffered that, because he was such a star when he was playing. And that's pretty much the legacy. Bobby Jones designed and built Augusta National and the Masters, and formed the Masters golf tournament, which he played in one time after he had retired from active play. He played in 1934. He didn't score particularly well because he was only a part-time golfer to begin with. He was always an amateur. He never turned pro. He played, as the name says, amateur, which means for the love of the game. And that's what he did. And he championed the game his entire career, obviously, by forming Augusta National and putting on the Masters every year. He's a legend in the game, but a lot of people never knew that he had suffered.
You were at Bay Hill yesterday, which was an incredible finish, and it remains, as I've said many times, it's our biggest sporting event that comes here. Having done a movie about golf and worked on and off in a variety of ways in golf, the PGA Tour has grown into kind of an incredible thing, and yet you can go to Bay Hill, and I talked about this last week. We're talking about a pioneer in Bobby Jones. You can still feel Arnold Palmer a decade after he's gone. And I hope we never lose Bay Hill. And Kim, to find golf tournaments in residential neighborhoods, we don't do that anymore. And there's still something awesome about it, right? It's still awesome to me, at least.
It really is, and it's one of the most intimate golf courses you'll ever walk. I mean, you can see shots from everywhere. And even though the crowds were big, there was a big crowd following Scotty and a huge crowd following Ricky Fowler. You could still stand on the tee box and watch them tee off, or get where you could watch the putting or the second shots. It was a fantastic day. It was a little hot, but it was a remarkable event overall. One of my grandsons was with me, and he wanted to stand and get autographs signed. And Nico Echeverria, who won last week down at Cognizant, actually gave him his Strixon hat. So we were pretty stoked. Golfers are amazing in that regard. They stand and they sign autographs. It's one of the most, I think, accessible sports for fans that there is.
It is, and it was a great weekend and a dramatic finish. Did you know, Kim, we hadn't had a playoff in 27 years, the longest PGA event that did not have a playoff for a period of 27 years since the last playoff. It's almost impossible to get that. Yeah,
it's crazy, and it looked like such a slam dunk for Daniel Berger, and it's that course is so hard. The 18 is going to gobble people up, and it has in the past, and it did again. It was exciting golf, though, I must say.
Again, the event takes place at Top Golf down by Universal. If you go to BobbyJonesCSF.org, you can learn about it. Have a great night of golf. It takes place on St. Patrick's Day from 6 o'clock till 9 o'clock at that Top Golf. We're going to give you that information again before we wrap up. I've had Kim on before other times, and his many examples of work are quite wide. And I got a few questions, okay? Because old people like me remember great shows like Battle of the Network Stars. I want you to bring that back, okay? But I want it back with like today. Like, can I get Netflix versus Paramount? Can I get a streaming competition? Could I pull that off now, Kim?
I wish it were. I wish it were so, but the insurance on these things is so.
A little bit difficult.
We did Superstars and Battle of the Network Stars. I don't remember Superstars, but it was.
Of course I do. Key Biscayne. I grew up in South Florida. Of course.
Well, then you know how competitive those athletes were. In today's world, no agent, no manager would ever sign off, or team would ever sign off on their players being able to,
But was there a waiver for Superstars? Because you had like the biggest names in sports go do these different events, whether you're cycling, whether you're swimming, whether you're running, or obstacle course. Did they sign a waiver?
Well, we did. They signed contracts that must have had some kind of disclaimer in it because we paid them a little bit of money. There was prize money associated with it, and I think everybody got the stipend. But and there were a few injuries over the course of time that actually didn't come back to bite us. But that was those were the halcyon days of reality television, Mark. Whether it's Superstars or Battle of the Network Stars, Challenge of the Sexes. We also did World's Strongest Men, and that was actually Mr. Palmer's company, TWI, which was it was known as Trans World International, and he formed that company with Mark McCormick to actually do Pennzoil commercials, if you will, up in Latrobe, and then it just expanded from there to do all sorts of different sports.
I didn't know. So you did the first World's Strongest Man competition? You were on that show too?
Yes, indeed. Yes, I was. Yeah.
Okay, so that has to be hilarious to get some of those guys to understand that you're doing a TV show. Those early days had to be insane.
Oh yeah, it was. We had Lou Ferrigno, and on the first show we had John Matusak, who was the left tackle for the Orlando or for the Oakland Raiders at the time. Later died, I think, of an overdose or something to do with steroids, I think. But at the time, those guys were unbelievable. It was so much fun, and that show is still on the air after, golly, it's got to be almost 50 years.
It is. All right, I'm going to run these quick questions of Battle of the Network Stars by a more competitive Robert Conrad or Gabe Kaplan.
Robert Conrad. Gabe Kaplan was fun, but Robert Conrad was serious.
He meant it. Like you better bring it to win. Like he was legit. Like right. Like you had to bring it if you were playing for Conrad.
100%. 100%.
Worst athlete you remember in Battle of the Network Stars? Like, holy smokes, this is really bad.
Oh, gee whiz, there were a few ladies, I must say, who weren't particularly competitive, but they looked great in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
And, that was what it was all about. We called it underwear sports, Mark.
Yeah.
And I would be hesitant to denigrate any particular actress yeah, it was fun. But the fun part was, dealing with all these celebrities. I remember we did a thing with Howard Cosell and Billy Crystal on the baseball diamond, which was right below where we did all the competition. And Billy played all parts of the baseball team. He was the hitter, the pitcher, the catcher, all that. And Howard Cosell did the announcement. We cut it together. It was hysterical. It was all about the Yankees.
And I'm correct with this. There was never a script for Cosell, right?
No, he didn't need a script. He could talk about virtually anything at any time.
Okay, you're also the guy that was behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original. Best athlete of all the actors that played the Turtles. Which name? Was it Leonardo? Was it Michelangelo? Donatello? Raphael? Which was the best athlete?
Mikey, the stunt actor for Mikey, from Michelangelo. We had stunt actors who were in the stunt costumes who did all the fighting, and then we had the talking turtles, and they weren't necessarily athletic. But Michelangelo.
Let me do this again. The event is taking place on St. Patrick's Day for the Bobby Jones Foundation. Tell folks again about what the cause is about and what kind of night they're going to get on the 17th.
Okay, well, the cause is the Bobby Jones Chiari and Syringomyelia Foundation. I know it's a mouthful, but this disease affects over 3 million people here in the United States alone. And the foundation is doing amazing work. We're doing a Top Golf event on the 17th on St. Patrick's Day, which happens to be Bobby Jones' birthday as well. He has the luck of the Irish with him for sure. And we'll play golf. People can play golf all the time, or they can talk to some of the patients that we'll have there, and hopefully there'll be some people from Orlando Health out there who will be helping with from the neuroscience department, because there's a cure on the horizon. We're just working to find it, and every bit of support that we get for the foundation leads us towards that cure.
If you go to BobbyJonesCSF.org, that's BobbyJonesCSF.org, you can get the link to click on to sign up to be there for the event on St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
Mark, go Knights. I hope they prevail up in Kansas City. I know you're going to have a good time out there, but go Knights, huh?
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Back to put a wrap on the Monday show next.
Time for the latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends. Ooh.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Well, the news this morning with the Dolphins releasing Tua Tagovailoa on Wednesday, 4 o'clock, when the new calendar year begins in the NFL. And Chris, it may be a quick unemployment because all signs point towards a number of NFL info people saying the Falcons is where he will sign, and quickly.
Why not? I guess because he's cheaper than Kirk Cousins. But, I mean, did you not learn anything from signing Kirk Cousins?
No. Look, the timing of all this, clearly the Dolphins had this in mind quite some time, and Tua's people had already been shopping. I mean, legal tampering is allowed now, but clearly this has been going on before, and everybody's going to get what they want. The Dolphins have rid themselves of Tua. The Falcons are going to bring in another lefty. When's the last lefty-lefty battle? Michael Penix said, so that's it for me? Interesting.
I don't know. I'm also seeing, I don't know how accurate these reports are, but Malik Willis in Arizona has been the hot rumor that I've been seeing.
Maybe they want to pay a price that Miami doesn't want to pay.
It doesn't make sense for Malik Willis to go to Miami.
What about Arizona?
Arizona, they're at least kind of building towards something, where Miami, they're going the other way.
The NFL never sleeps. It's a 12-month sport. We just play games from mid-August to February now. That's it. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. If you missed any of today's program, go where you get your favorite podcast. Type in the BOS Sports on Demand to access the entire show. Subscribe, get a download to listen when it's convenient for you. Watch the stream live or on replay. Go to our YouTube page, 96 of the Game Orlando. Click on the station icon, the live button. You can watch this show back when it's convenient for you as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Kansas City. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Mark.
Chris produced. I'm Martin Daniels of BOS Sports.